was some prejudice caused, and there was some resistance to the market, and some comparisons maybe made to other markets that aren't strongly respected in some parts. So first of all, I had to clarify with my team the Indian market, what it is, what it stands for. The challenges is overcoming the cultural understanding, not only the cultural understanding of the Indian market, but also the Indians understanding the culture of the destination market as well, and coming to a point where we both understand each other. And then we can deliver what our expectations are, and we can receive what our expectations are. So it's all about understanding. So we also have an obligation in the industry in Vietnam and in Da Nang, which is a key point of destination for Indians in the future. We have to take the stand, and we have to understand the Indian market as much as we can. And then we can deliver the expectations, and we hope that the same thing in return. Madame Nidhi has been an integral part of the Graham Liqueurs understanding with her food deliverance and her outsourced catering. And I'll tell a very quick story. We have a ballroom facility on level 2. We also have our famous Golden Dragon Dim Sum restaurant, which has huge back of house kitchen area, which is part of that kitchen was reserved for the Indian chefs. I had so much resistance from my Vietnamese team. They didn't want the Indians cooking in the kitchen close to their dim sum because the Indian flavor and the Indian smell would influence the dim sum. I would have Indian dim sum. I actually thought that's a good combination. So that was an example of what we had to educate the team, and we actually did a demonstration of cooking. Remember that we cooked and we obviously it comes down to the quality of the products and the items used, whether it's good.
It's not good, it makes you smell good.
So it's about education and understanding, it's about knowledge, and I said in my previous chat about sustainability, knowledge is power. The more knowledge we have on a destination or on a culture or on a race of people, the more power we have to be able to manage it and deliver on their expectations and expect them to deliver on ours.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. Before I get into another point, don't forget to scan the QR code, get your questions ready. There should be some brutal questions, guys, so just prepare yourself. I'm sure there are many who are waiting for this session. Since we're talking about the challenges, yes, vegetarian and non-vegetarian. This is a big thing which can make or break your hotel or your restaurant. We as country, Indians, we define what vegetarian means. Vegetarian doesn't mean what you have studied and known so far of being vegetarian. Vegetarian and a non-vegetarian in India doesn't mean that you just eat all kinds of meat. A non-vegetarian in India, about 80% is only poultry and only lamb. And when it comes to sea world, we also have limitations. I mean, popularly fish. So even if you go to Indian restaurants, they wouldn't have mussels and squids and the whole world of sea in their restaurants. No, we don't identify that as a food. I mean, everything what fish is eating or everything under the water is not food for us. So for food, you might say, I don't have, prawn and fish is we identify as food in the water. And lamb as red meat. So if you are thinking of making your restaurant as non-vegetarian restaurant, you have to clearly define and keep two meats away, which are pork and beef, because of religious sentiments. Because Indians also get defined as human beings as what religion they come from, and religion is unfortunately a very serious business there. Yeah. So, but then if we are dealing with a monster, we learn how to. Learn the pattern and the behavior. Yeah. On this point, I will come to you, Mari. Tell us and tell not only. And there are restaurateurs sitting here. There are agents sitting here. There are people who like to familiar to Indian customers sitting here. Tell us a few approach because you being Indian and you are a general manager of a hotel in Saigon and you see both sides. How should they look at Indian customers, not from only revenue point of view?
Thank you, Dr. Parker, for giving the opportunity to speak today. I'm probably going to talk about a couple of things. One is the board of governors of Inchan, which I'm representing Inchan today. Obviously, my job is GM for the hotel. Starting first, answering a couple of touch points which Subhash started from. We are putting a lot of effort from the government perspective, from Vietnam government and India, to make Vietnam popular. All right. Now, it's not that Vietnam is really popular by itself. If you remember, I'm sure he's been in Thailand. So you have heard the common meme, right? Good girls go to heaven, bad boys go to Bangkok. So the counter to that is Vietnam is becoming very popular among the young travelers across India, and that's why it's growing in social media. That people are proud to boast that we are visiting Da Nang, we are visiting Hoi An, we are visiting Ho Chi Minh, and it's not looked down upon, right? Initially, Thailand went up the curve, then it became a taboo at home, right? You all out here know about it. Okay? So now the government is obviously working on some visa proposals on how it's going to happen. I was there part of Jai Shankar's team when the VinFast deal happened. Hopefully, you will see a lot of growth which is going to happen on the education field. There's a lot of Vietnamese who are going to travel back home. That's my hometown, Subhash, and vice versa. Now, coming to the Indian tourist perspective. Now, there are multiple types of Indian tourists, family being the strongest. And that's why we Indians and Vietnamese have a similar bond. We are very strong, family-oriented people. Women matters the most, kids matter the most. Okay? So, majority of the middle-class family who are traveling now are actually family. Then the bigger numbers are the MICE, like how all the Vietnamese companies take your employees for your annual outing. MICE does the same thing for their distributors and for their top employees. So when you see the 4,000 people who came to Hanoi, they're actually from the pharma company, right? And there's actually an annual outing for them. So it is a massive market, right? Third, talking about food. Food is a very sensitive topic. Similarly, like all Vietnamese, when you travel outside, after the third day, you want your pho, right? It's same for us. Like every North Indian would like to have his roti. Every South Indian would like to have his dosha or idli, right? On the vegetarian concept, there are different types of vegetarians. The Jains are similar to monks, so they will never agree on not having a separate kitchen, and they are the biggest gamblers, right? That's the flip side to it. The biggest gamblers in India are actually the Gujaratis and the Jains and the Marwadis. They won't eat meat, but they will gamble. They'll keep your casino busy, right? And they have cash, and they are the biggest diamond merchants. They are the biggest movie producers. They are the biggest automobile.
They are my Chinese.
Yeah, they are the Chinese, right? Literally. Then the following.
Vegetarian Chinese.
Then the following are the basically the corporate guys, right? Like Neil Parker, who are out here working. They're expat families. They're far more defined. They know what they want, right? Then the people who are actually traveling for experience. Now, all these three segments are important. You just need to be aware of what they want, and if it's culturally more sensitive, you can become popular for them. Places like Da Nang, and today we are talking about. Da Nang is a better version of Phuket. Alright, it's got everything right. You just need to work on it and be on it all the time. Ensure you provide the service what is required, so that when a family is coming, they don't look down upon. It's very important for an Indian family when you go walk in the store and suddenly someone tells the lady, go away. That husband is going to be one angry man the whole trip, right? It's the same for any family. So you got to be culturally aware. Last but not the least, not all Indians are cheap. There are a lot of them who have now, with the third generation of Indians, we travel just to spend our money because we already have the houses, we already have the bank balance, and now we've got very similar like European culture. We have the money which we want to go and blow up. So when there are holidays, you just want to shop. That's why you see the shopping list. That's why the shopping spending has increased. And Vietnam has got a mix of all. Got great shopping, good casinos, which Thailand doesn't have, and a great cultural site which people can enjoy.
Thank you very much. I think that's a good insight. I was also during the day reading few things online, and it is amazing to read as an Indian pattern. 86% of Indian travelers will plan the similar or more number of travel in the coming years. They will also repeat destination. What matters then to repeat the destination is the entire vibe of that destination. Yes, 26% of Indian travelers say the cost of flights mostly determines their travel destination. And something which is great for especially the Nanians to enjoy is in terms of the last searches which happened by through a survey. I think Da Nang scored plus 1,141% of search as a destination. The second most was Almaty, third Baku, and Osaka. Osaka because now Tokyo is free visa. I think e-visa. So it's become easy. And then Krabi, and so Thailand is still not in top 4 on a radar for Indian, where it used to be our international village for India. They will just pick up the passport, won't even take a bag because they'll go and shop there. They will land and book the hotel. This is how their destination was, which is not even in top 4. So that is the achievement of Vietnam, and that's the volume where we have to fill in. I mean, there are popular destinations like France or Switzerland or Azerbaijan and Kuwait, which are in minus 2 degrees, two digits in terms of search. So clear indications of a lot of popular destinations are losing their ground on this big giant country, 1.4 billion. It's open and already announced as the world's most populated country. Even if we are able to manage and cater 10% of that number, you know the maths. So this is the number we are talking about. Coming to, please don't forget to scan the QR. But I also see questions here. Okay, quickly, few things which are in my mind, and I thought maybe in the minds of others also. So many restaurants. Is it a good sign or a bad sign?
Very good sign. And I tell you, everybody is doing well. Everybody is doing well. It means more choices because at this moment I have a booking until January. And sometimes we have to say no to them.
Fantastic. Is there anything which they need to think beyond than all the restaurants which are open for a reason? Yes, everybody wants to earn money. Every guy walking in looks like a Vietnam dong walking in. But what do they need to look beyond in terms of sustainability?
Restaurant owners. I think the basic first is the compliance. Second, like you're saying about sustainability, is making fresh every day. For us, we have come up with the concept of live stations, which reduces the waste. So we will make in front of you and we will cook only what you really need to eat at that time. So live stations, live cooking, and I mean, people enjoy it, like we're talking about food as an experience. So Indians enjoy it when they see an Indian chef cooking in front of you.
I also want to ask you that a lot of hotels, they are in the dilemma of whether they should have an Indian chef, whether they should open an Indian restaurant. I mean, what is your message to those hotels? That should they look at that investment or the restaurants, and what are your challenges? Quickly.
I want to be a part of restaurant F&B because as we say that every Indian food is different. Like you need to hire 4 or 5 Indian chefs if you're looking for it. And if you have a big groups of 400, like 2,500 we are talking about, it's gonna take more big team. So recently we catered in Halong Bay, 2,000 people. So around 42 of my team were there to cater that. So it really needs a big team. I think I want to advise to the hotels, yes, you should have the basic, like the breakfast and all, made by Indian chefs. Indians know that this food is made by Vietnamese chef or Indian chef because the taste is absolutely different, whether it is a masala tea, simple thing. So that magic, like you said, aroma, taste, everything is different there. So I suggest, yes, you should have 1 or 2 chefs to cater daily needs when there are big groups or big demand. Invite Benares here.
Thank you very much. With regards to quickly touch upon weddings,
I think Banaras should open an Indian cooking school. You'll do much better. Start training.
She's already opening it.
We are doing Indian food competition. We are doing Indian food classes as well. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
In terms of wedding, since that becomes another desire which is like every man wants a woman, I mean every hotel wants wedding.
Yes.
So On that note, I'm sure you have your own challenges from hotels. You have your own challenges because all these wedding guys who are coming from India, they're extremely smart. Selling them a destination is like selling an ice to an Eskimo. It is that tough. What are your support which you need for hotels to look at?
Yeah, the major problem that we face with the hotels is the indoor locations. We don't have multiple choices here. We don't have many choices here. Only very few resorts like Frama, Ariana can cater to a larger crowd where we have a very big indoor space. So Indians, when they do this,
Some Indians need more open space.
no, for Sangeet or some kind of like they are very specific events, they are looking out for indoor spaces. So that is first drawback that we have here in only very few hotels like to be precise, maybe 3 hotels.
That is the space. But do you want to utilize this forum in communicating what are the any other challenges in terms of flexibility, in terms of openness, in terms of don't look at everything as all the complaints which you keep giving me for me. I mean, anything on that front. How should they look at? Should they look at one wedding as take it and do it and finish, or they should look at establishing their names and?
No, it's more a hotel needs to be in a space where the negotiation is there, which is very tight. As everyone was saying, Indians love to negotiate. So when the negotiation space is very little, it's getting difficult for us to bring in more people. Whenever we talk to our people, whenever we talk to our clients, they say that okay, I'm okay with this property, but I want the rooms to be in this range. If not, I'm going back to Thailand. That's something that we are facing regularly.
Basically, Dinesh is saying, don't use your favorite word in Vietnam. For everything you say, kom. Kom. Kom Viet? Kom ke. So don't use this kom ke and enough and be ready to negotiate at all levels. That's what it needs. And especially wedding segment is very tricky. It keeps changing every minute. Wedding is like amoeba, the biological character, the zoological. It will keep changing. You can never define the size and shape. All right.
Just to be more clear, it's better to think weddings as a package, a complete set, not as rooms or venues or something. Just think for the hotels. It's better to think as a package where you create an overall revenue, not just break down into small restaurants. That's very important.
You have a question on top of
Okay, because I think every question is going to take a lot of explanations here, so let me jump on. What did you say?
There are one question which is up also, which we have already.
How do I go up? How do I take the first one? Okay.
Yeah.
What are some common misconceptions about Indian travelers that needs to be addressed? Now, this is a very broad subject, but right,
All right,
you want to touch upon?
I want to touch upon a couple of things which I already saw here, right? A couple of misconceptions on Indian travelers that we need to address. Not everybody likes to bargain. A lot of them who are very well off, they don't like to bargain at all. You just need to address them with respect, and they will be happy. You can see the way how they talk, how they behave. If you know, India is the world's largest population. Half of most of the multinational companies CEOs across the world are Indians, right? So please be aware, not all brown-looking people are the same, right? So you got to address, analyze, and accordingly behave.
Good, thank you. I mean, just to top it up, don't go by his outer looks. He might walk into slippers because he just wants to maybe judge you. So don't judge him. He wants to be like that because he wants to show off. Oh, you looking at me, treating at me. You must understand, this country has been ruled by many foreigners for many years, over centuries. And most importantly, the recent ones were 200 years of Britishers. So when you get freedom and when you are free and now you have your own money and when you go to another city, you're already very intimidated and you already are thinking that people are going to judge you. So be very, don't read the outer Indian guys and approach. Just take it genuinely, how important is cultural authenticity in the travel experience sought by Indian tourists?
Okay.
Okay.
So it is very, very important, right? As we spoke earlier, the cultural authenticity. A lot of people are actually exploring Vietnam. Truth being said, there's a lot of old ancestral history from the southern of India all the way to Vietnam. There are multiple temples across Vietnam, which actually talks about Hindutva, and there are temples present in Ho Chi Minh City, one close to Da Nang, and everything. So there are a lot of people actually seeking for it. There's a huge religious tourism also going back and forth. And last but not the least, there are few respects which you always need to understand. Example, a big wedding family, the oldest member of the family needs to be treated really well, and that has to go across the hotel. Everybody needs to know who the main person is, and either the Indian family is either patriarchal or patriarchal, depending which state they are from. So please understand those nuances so that you can develop your services according to that. Right? Let it be F&B, let it be rooms. One thing most important, the wedding market is the biggest tipper in the world. I have personally, when we did Marriott, we did a wedding. The family, when they are happy about it, they tipped $30,000 to the service team and walked off. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Wedding is a place, a segment where all Indian families save up and spend a lot.
True. I mean, okay. That's what I said. I mean, why do you think Dinesh is not ready to expand and get into many other businesses? Because he knows he has the right segment with him. If he gets all those targeted weddings, he has to think nothing. I mean, he doesn't want to diversify over that. I can ask you, David, on one question, unless, I mean, in case you have done a little study on it, would you be able to, from your point of view, in what ways Indian travelers contributing to local economies of their destinations? Would you have an idea? Because you've done Thailand also.
Okay. Compared to other countries that are historically supportive of the destination, the Indian market diversify their spending. They go to local attractions, they go local suppliers, local markets. They're not adversely swayed by tour leaders with flagpoles and diverted into non-Vietnamese owned establishments. I think that's important to know and understand. They are respectful of the retail business. They are global leaders in retail shopping and purchasing, we know that. And I think they have a respect for that, and they contribute to the local economy more than some of our other traditional markets may do.
Thank you. And there's a reason why I asked David. I mean, I can answer this. I can always say, and I will still add on so that you have an understanding. Indians are not someone who will just take a hammock and lie down on the beach and that's about it. They don't believe in it. They are very impatient people. So they have their own set of things which they have to do. So they will possibly make 72 hours out of 24 hours. So they will come, check into the room, go out, go here, there, what is around me, as if they have to go back to India and appear for an exam. So they have to know everything. What plane is flying, at this time, which flight. I mean, they will have questions which you can't even dream of. That will also enable them to go around and look at other things. So they might land up in the restaurant, they might just enter a room, buy a few things for the sake of buying. Maybe he's buying that 10th wallet just for the sake of buying one from Vietnam. Maybe he's buying the 15th hat, one from Vietnam. And he possibly doesn't even have a space in his house. So he will contribute to many local shoppers, communities, go around buying. So overall, I mean, besides he will come to the hotel, I mean, we at Furama, we see that every Indian walking in, the spends on other ancillaries are quite high. He will go to spa because that's his dream. He will go once, and if we do a good job, he'll say, before I leave, one more. So he will go to the spa. He will order, tell me what is the most expensive thing on your menu. He gets a kick. What is the most expensive cocktail you have? I mean, he wants to say and take a photo and put it on Instagram, most expensive cocktail I had drank. I mean, he will do these things. He will do a lot of publicity. You can save your marketing spends. He will do it for you, he or she, if they are happy.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
yes,
I had a
Lily,
story-
yes, yes,
a
please.
story here. I had a family trip in December 2019 to Da Nang.
She is also doing that.
And we have visitors actually. So we were on the way to go back to Hanoi, to the airport. So we just stopped by to the local market. And we were buying something like chilies, and here is very nice. So we were buying the chilies, and we were surprised to see Bollywood top actor Sunil Shetty walking in the local market with family of 5 people. And then we were like, sure, is this him? And then we went to say hello, and he says, hey, I'm looking for local stuff. He spent 1 hour with us and the local vendors in that local market in Da Nang, and then he carried a lot of stuff just to give to his friends and relatives in Mumbai.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not for you, but you'll have so many friends, you'll have so many people.
Souvenirs.
Yeah, souvenirs people will expect. So next one, besides F&B and accommodation, what are the other important concerns for Indian travelers? What are the other factors that the city can improve on to attract Indian visitors? Who shall take it?
Okay. There's something which I like. I like actually Alex's questions. Well, Alex's. Anyway, answering the first part, right? Every city needs to have entertainment for families. This is number one, because India is one of the largest populations. So most of your travelers are family members. So answering the one question is earlier. So that's why when a family is traveling for budget. So, and they will spend the whole money, but they want to get the maximum value, right? That's why the bargaining at times also matters to them. Now, coming to the city, most of the Indian business families are first will come for a holiday. While holidaying, they look for business opportunities out here. That's why they come to Inchan, they can go to other people. So if you can create different venues for them, which can open up to local business, which they can take from here to build it back in India, or vice versa, they'll be more than open, right? And that's why F&B accommodation is one part. You need to create things which are interesting for them, which engages the family and by themselves. Casino is one part which is there, which is going, which will keep, if you can be slightly more friendly on taking digital passports rather than, because passport in India is something very, very sacred. So a lot of the Indians don't carry their passport; they keep it in their safe, because if you lose a Indian passport, getting the passport back is a hassle. So most of the Indian travelers, when they check into the hotel, first thing they want to do is open the safe, they'll keep it in. Even though we are right now expert, I'm sure Nidhi and everybody, whenever we go, whichever part of the world, first we do is keep our passport safe, then we go out and keep a digital copy. So the casinos and all these places in nightclubs, please accept our digital colored version of that, alright? Last but not the least, the Vietnamese Indian hybrid, if you can do it, it's going to be the next big thing in Vietnam on the cuisine front.
You must know, besides, so Indians are not about only Indian food. You'll be surprised to know that I will survive in a city where there is no Indian food. But if there is Chinese food, and if there is Italian food, Indian can survive without Indian food if there is a Chinese food. But our Chinese is Indian Chinese. I think China, if Chinese are staying outside China in a maximum population, it will be India, into different cities. So every city has Chinatown. And there are some things like, thing mentioned here, Manchurian. There are things which got invented of China in India. So Chinese is another food. So and this is a cue for Vietnamese restaurant people here, that if you can't get into Indian food, which you think will be a challenge, you can modify your own cuisine into a Chinese cuisine. Try and attract Indians by saying you have some good Chinese Indian food. And possibly that cuisine is still very close to what we have eaten. Italian is another cuisine. We love Italian food. Every wedding you'll have one pasta corner.
Mexican.
Live pasta, Mexican, and a couple of more names, which African names also. We have this thing. Can we have a Moroccan rice corner that side? Now the guys who are eating that rice, they don't even know where Morocco is. But he wants to have some foreign thing which is unheard of a country. Maybe have Timur Liste's sausages there, something like that. Okay, what kind of cultural activity should Vietnam offer to Indian tourists for more cultural ties? Dinesh? Events? Since you're in wedding, you have multiple requirements.
So, for the Indian tourist, if you want to offer something in terms of Vietnamese culture, I would say they prefer this dragon and lion dance. You know, they are into that. Yeah, they love that really. Whenever for a wedding to a client, we suggest dragon dance or a lion dance. They're pretty much interested because it's something new for us in India. So they want to get into it. They hire. We do book some local artists and we do shows during the weddings. Even we can use it as a welcome for Indian groups, like a welcome performance for Indian groups.
The way I look at it as an Indian, why do I like lion dance? I mean, there are this Nulla, Auzai dance. It may not excite me so much while I look at it. I think we like those dances where there's a lot of energy.
High energy.
There's a lot of high energy because who is watching this dance? The guys who are either going to take their first glass or they've already taken multiple glasses. So we want a high energy because it's all about dance and music and loud. That's why I think we like the lion dance with the drums. So if you can develop this as a product and introduce and possibly say that I'll give you 50% discount, hike the price and say 50% discount, you will, it will be a good thing. In India, it's very easy to get welcome experience every hotel. Every hotel is open and certain amount of welcome they will do. But I think sometimes I find that everything is a cost. I mean, I'm not tell this, I know
Simple
it.
tikka.
I will not
tikka,
do. Yeah, we have certain reservations in doing anything special as welcome. I mean, we do flower, we do things, but we are not stepping out of that. I mean, we are not. I mean, if in India you go to say Goa, Goa is our beach capital of India. You will see not every hotel is into giving you a shell garland, which is because it's seashells. It's the indications of beach city. But every hotel will have different. They are ready to explore, expand. So I think we should also look at few things are a big kick for Indian traveler. A welcome because he will take a picture. The moment he goes to the room, what's in the room? He wants to take a picture and say, I am treated like this. Whatever you put some banana, dried, some stuff created, he still wants a picture. He wants to know that you've been acknowledged. So acknowledgement basically, recognition. That's the factor. Anything down there? I think I'm just short of 3 minutes here. So some closing comments from Dinesh.
Overall, I think this is just the beginning of the first slide coming across. I think we were initially talking about whether India will take over Chinese tourists in Vietnam. I'm telling you for a fact, in the next 5 years, you will see a humongous amount of tide of Indian visitors coming into Vietnam. So be prepared. Best is to prepare yourself now. Be open to it and welcome the market. The more they are, because the longevity of this market is way bigger. I'll give you a couple of insights. But Subhash also, like we recently got Namaste India, which has happened like 2 years back. There are talks about a Bollywood movie being shot in Vietnam. And I think the next 8 months the whole movie is going to be shot. Once that happens, you'll see a tide of different travelers coming in. So good times are ahead.
David, your few thoughts which will help us.
In summary, I see a lot of director of sales here and some other GMs. My advice to you all is to look at the Indian market as a collaboration. Work with the key people in the industry, the GMCs. Work with your food suppliers because we are not Indian food specialists. Work with the TAs, work with the associations, e.g. Rotary Club. I'm on the chair of Rotary Club. We have the largest Rotary Club membership in the world in India. So we direct market. I've had multiple Rotarian Indian groups come and stay at the Grand Cure. Collaborate. Honesty, trust is what you need. As a general manager, I personally have been anointed every single Indian agent. Have not spoken about business. We don't talk about room nights or how many rooms I've got or how many restaurants I have. We build a relationship formed on mutual respect and trust. Once you have an Indian's trust, you're their brother, yes? And if an Indian calls you brother, you've signed a deal.
You're fine with that.
But you have to build that relationship first. Then you can talk about rates or whatever, or give it to your TOS or your senior staff who to deal with. First up is almost relationship. and
This is
trust.
what David
That's-
told me in the afternoon, that you win his trust. He has to be your brother from another mother.
That's correct.
And that's it. I mean, and then later on, at the end of the show, you say, you know what, I'm missing on that $5 there. Can you just, okay, document. So that $5, $10, which he possibly was telling you that you are going to lose the contract, he will give you once he thinks that you are to his side. So great, thank you very much. Trust. Anything on behalf of all the restaurants which you want to tell the audience of the hotel?
Yes, as you said, relationship first, then business, and it is same in Vietnam as also. So we share the same culture, same belief. And Indians are full of energy. They like to have food, good food, and dance, drink, music, and it's normal, you know. And they will go back and post everything they do at your place, in your country, to Instagram and Facebook in India, which is very, very famous, and it will multiply the business, multifolds in Vietnam. So let's welcome them with full heart
I think when
and
she was-
understand them.
I think when she was talking about Indians like these it also sounded like Vietnamese. So
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very similar.
So very
The only
similar.
difference is because of the population of Vietnam being 200
Yeah, it's normal.
million, and an average Indian will have, we are from 1.3, 1.4. So when a Vietnamese person shares, there's a limitation of that number of people will reach because of the country's population. But trust me, when an Indian guy puts it on a Facebook or on Insta, every guy is more than 10,000 contacts. So that's the kind of viral information potential it has, whatever you will serve. Something from you?
Just quickly want to add, like MICE groups have a very quick visit here, 3-4 days. Like 4,500 people come, 2,000. But I have interacted with these people and they say, very short trip. I'm gonna go back and come back with my family for 10 to 15 days trip. 3-4 days are not enough for Vietnam. So this is how the potential MICE groups are like a trailer, movie trailer for them for Vietnam.
Every mice guy is going to come back with his family or
Yeah.
other personal friends. Yes, something from your point, from events and weddings.
So
and pros.
it's more of the experiences. It's very important.
Experience.
Try to give more authentic local experiences to the travelers or to the tourists, and will attract more and more people.
This is a very good thing, and I think we missed out on talking about it, the cultural equity which Vietnam has. You know, Vietnam has, like India, we have so much deep of culture because every wedding, because wedding is so much to do with culture and tradition. I'm sure you come across saying, what else can we do here? What else? I mean, this we did in that wedding, my cousin here and there, but what different can we do from Vietnam culture? So try, if you have it, good. If you don't, think about it. It's a scope of, it's an area where you can research a little more. Culture. What more and how diverse can it be? Thank you very much for tolerating us, listening this whole Indian madness. I can only say that it was a pleasure sharing and getting that window to make you all aware of what we are. I can only say we are the most easiest people on earth to handle. Just look into our eyes and you can win our hearts. Thank you very much. Thank you.